Chubstep.
J-rad.
Creating the oil of judgment.
Steed. Chubstep.
Ladies and gentlemen, I give you the king of the jungle.
We skate for fun. We're soul skaters.
What was her job?
Table.
What do you mean?
Guys, what'd I say?
Her job is so confusing.
The job isn't important. It's just a generic job that the writers of this made up for this.
But what is the generic job?
Just tables.
Mr. Gorbachev, tear down this wall.
And the show started. And welcome back, Season 3, Episode 9. Let's get that chant going.
Hover around takes me where I want to go. Where will it send me?
Jack, before we get into the light number, let's maybe talk about a few little local stories. I have one. I don't know. This is my least favorite type of person. I'm going to describe them here. Actually, this is not a positive thing. This is a negative thing. Here's my least favorite type of person. Somebody that wants to play their music so loud so that everybody else is forced to listen to their music, even if they brought their music to a thing. So you and me have shared in this experience, and I think we've probably talked about it on the show. Sometimes when we go to the river, there's these very white trash guys that have a small boat with gigantic speakers on the back of it. And they just blast music so that anybody else parked out, it doesn't matter where you're listening to, you can't hear it. Yeah.
I experienced a similar thing today. Was at a park for an engagement party.
Okay.
And some guy comes, I have a picture of it, I'll have to zoom in, post it on our Chubstep Instagram. Guy just sets up giant speakers and like a foldable table and a little DJ booth and just starts playing music in the whole park. Was not paid by anybody. I've never seen this before. Was just there with, it looked like a kid, maybe like a 11 or 12-year-old sitting there like on his phone the whole time, and then his wife maybe. But they're like sitting they're not actually, they're just like on the sidewalks. They're not even like playing in the park. There's a little sidewalk around the park. Yeah. And he is playing music. And also, here's the thing. He wasn't even a good DJ. He had no transitions. It was just like he literally had a playlist and was pressing next song, next song. So sometimes like 30 seconds the song would play, he'd play next song. 5 seconds. There's one that was like 5 seconds. Next song, next song. No transition. So he had his setup, but didn't know how to use it and was just blasting music. Nobody could hear, like you couldn't play your own music in the park.
What's this guy's do? Was he hoping a crowd would form?
I really, and he actually had a mic where he was saying a few things like, thank you all, thank you all. Like, I think he had a little bucket set up there. I literally think he was trying to get donations.
Oh my
God. For something nobody asked for.
Nobody donated?
I hope nobody donated. I was trying to avoid looking at him as much as I could because it really bothered me that this was going on.
Oh man. You just somebody's got to go talk to him. They're like, you got to stop, man.
Well, it's like if he was by himself, that's one thing. I don't want to like go up with his wife and son there and be like embarrass him in front of like.
No, you got to do that.
Yeah, I would just feel worse about that.
Well, also leave them at home.
Yes, he for sure should have left them at home.
What are they doing? It's Sunday.
Yeah, but it really bothered me. And just the worst type of person.
Yeah.
I don't know what that is.
Okay, well, maybe he's got a disease too.
Let's hope. Yeah. Well, let's not hope he has a disease. Let's hope he has some sort of reason that he did what he did.
It's his dream.
Yeah.
To play Electric Forest. And he's never going to get there unless he practices.
That's true. This is the biggest crowd I've ever played for. Yeah, I play like every Sunday. I play for like a couple hundred people.
Yeah, no
it's a pretty
good
gig. Yeah,
Outdoor venue.
It's like pretty cool. It's like, yeah, music in the park type of thing. God, it's the worst.
Yeah, well, at least his kid knows what a douchebag looks like, so he won't, emulate that when he grows up.
Yeah, there's two ways it goes, right? So you're either like, oh, that's cool, I got to do that you set a great example, or you're like, this guy's the loser. I'm gonna do the complete opposite of that.
Probably that one.
I hope. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
All right, Steed. That was enough about me. That's my rant.
That's a fine rant. It's worthy. That guy deserves it. Thank you.
If he's listening, don't ever call into the show. You're banned.
Yeah, thank you. And also, how did you get a number to call into the show? Because nobody's been able to do that.
Yeah.
Hey, I stopped smoking cigarettes.
Oh, good.
Isn't that something? I'm on to cigars now. Yeah, I'm onto a 5-year plan. I eliminated the cigarettes, then I go to cigars, then I go to pipes, then I go to chewing tobacco, then I'm onto that nicotine gum.
Good.
Yeah.
Lee, you want to jump into one of my favorite subjects in the
Yes.
world?
Yes. Wait, before we do that,
Okay.
I need to make one thing about the Pope. When we talked about the Pope, this is a follow-up to the Pope. I'm going to bing bong here.
Bing bong.
Connect 2 Chubstep topics in the past.
Wow.
I found out that where the Pope is from, he's not technically from Chicago. He's
What?
from the close suburbs. He's from Dalton, Illinois.
Where the fuck is that?
Dalton is that town with the crazy mayor that I talked about a few months ago.
Oh my God.
That's the town he's from. That's where he
I
grew
don't
up.
trust
was
him.
Dalton, Illinois. Now that lady is now no longer the mayor, by the way, since we talked about that episode. People, I will find that episode. There's a crazy mayor, for those that have not heard this, that is in an Illinois, like close suburb of Chicago. And she is just an insane, this was 481. So I talked about this in October last year. And this is just this lady. She was like making music videos with the taxpayer. Had a full-time security guards around her with like a black SUVs driving her all over the place. She's no longer the mayor. But that's where the
Yeah.
Pope is from. So there we go. Connecting the Pope episode to 484. So there you go.
Okay, wow.
Yeah.
I can't believe he's doing that, but an untrustworthy guy, that Pope.
Yeah.
I've been telling
Yep.
people the whole time.
That's right. All right. Let's get to the topic it's very near and dear to your heart, very you're passionate about, Steed.
Yes. We're going gambling. We're talking
Yes.
gambling.
Yes.
So I guess to start, how has gambling affected me in my life?
Yeah, let's start there.
Extremely well, baby.
Rolling in the dough.
Lifetime earnings up. Every time I go to the casino, up. It's free money. Never stop
That's true.
gambling. If you're down, double your bet. Double all the money you've lost. Bet it again. You
Yes.
lose that, double it. Keep going. Dig that hole. You'll get out.
I'm gonna show you one of my favorite memes. This is a classic picture. I will share my screen here. It's 2 guys. One guy is digging. They're underground. Who knows what they're digging for diamonds, right? And the first guy at the top, it says "person who keeps gambling," and he's digging forward. And he's got some dirt in front of him, but then diamonds in front of that. Then it says "person who stopped gambling" below him, and this guy is inches away from getting the diamonds. But
One
it's
more
turning around.
pickaxe swing. One more.
You just need
push
one
that slot
more.
machine.
It's one more bet. That's all you need.
Mm-hmm.
So keep gambling. But you could buy the Etsy man.
Keep gambling. I got to get that tattooed onto my forehead. That way the casinos
Yeah.
will never try and kick me out.
Yes. So just
Ever
one more
again.
bet. That's all you need to make by your buddy. You can't lose. I don't know why they call it gambling.
You cannot lose if you
Yeah.
do not stop.
That's true.
You're just down a little, but you'll come back.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, so I love gambling. I can't sports bet out here, so like a big chunk of my income is gone.
Yeah.
Ever since I moved to the West, which it's horrible. I want to be like some of these big winners.
Yes.
Okay. So let's see. I tried to get a brief history of gambling.
Yeah.
Blood alone moves the wheels of history. Have you ever asked yourselves in an hour of meditation, which everyone finds during the day, how long we have been striving for greatness?
Some men just want to watch the world burn.
America is the richest, most powerful nation on earth. If America was a woman, America would be a big titty woman. And everybody loves a big titty woman.
In less than an hour, aircraft from here will join others from around the world. And you will be launching the largest aerial battle in the history of mankind.
Ladies and gentlemen, Chub History.
Please clap.
It turns out gambling has just always been around.
Yeah. It turns out I agree. I also found that to be the case.
Yeah, it's you go back and you're like, all right, what are some of the old books? And one of the oldest books is the Bible. And guess what? In the Bible, they were gambling. Apparently, this is why gambling, people think it's bad, because some idiot had to write this into the Bible. Jesus is up there getting crucified, and then the Roman guards start throwing knuckle bones.
Yeah.
Which I think early precursor
form
to
of
the
dice.
dice.
The early form of dice, yeah.
Yeah, apparently you could take knuckle bones and roll them or something. And they were
They were
gambling on who would
actual
get
knuckles of people, right? Is that what
Yeah.
they were? Yeah.
I think.
Yeah.
I like it that it's like human knuckles and people were throwing them.
Yeah.
Maybe you could write a little 2 on it or something. So they were throwing it. They wanted his shirt or something, or his cape, JC's cape. And whoever threw the best dice, they actually won it. So then Christians everywhere are like, gambling's bad. It took JC's scarf.
Yeah.
Those bastards.
Yeah.
Must have been the devil. They do think that this is what historian people think. Used to throw marked sticks and objects to do some divining, some divination to like predict the future and stuff. And then that seemed like a fun game, so people started betting on it. And gambling was born. Boom.
There you go.
Yep, that's it. Then it really took off from there, from the old knuckle bones.
And it is controversial because there was at certain times where it was fine, and then there are certain points in history where they're like, oh, if you get caught, like was it Rome? Some of Roman Greece, certain people get caught, and they would literally like could be thrown in jail or killed type of thing if they were caught gambling.
Oh,
like it became completely like.
How are you supposed to make any money?
Exactly. But
That's
then
ridiculous.
It became bigger. It was actually a little later on, around there are certain people that were vaccinated. Some people were like, hey, what about the lotto, which is basically gambling.
Yeah.
It's the
It
same
is.
thing.
I count it as gambling.
It's a super low odds. It's maybe the worst odds form of gambling.
Yeah.
But it is a form of gambling.
The US Mega Millions is like 1 in 306 million. Roughly.
Yeah, it's not good odds. That's blackjack's way better than that. By the way, for people that haven't played blackjack.
Fun lotto fact, the lottery helped found America. To raise money for the original colonies.
Yeah.
When they were like, we need some cash to do this war or whatever. The lotteries, they started doing lotteries, and they were funding the 13 original colonies. And then, they had instant winners. Everybody loves them. And then the stupid Brits, they were pissed, and they put a restriction on the lotteries, and that did help lead to the American Revolutionary War.
Okay, there you go. So if you can thank the lotto, gambling for being an American, yes.
Yeah.
Around the 1600s also is when they also started doing organized like gambling houses.
Yeah.
And that's when mathematicians started to get involved and then started creating like actual dice and cards to get like how do you create games that favor the house slightly so that people always have a chance but have slight odds and your
freaking nerds.
So, yeah, mathematicians. So math ruined gambling. We can go that far.
100%.
And then I think in later years now they're saying like by the 2000s 80% of people in Western countries have gamble occasionally, it says.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know what occasionally is, but I'm over it.
Yeah. That's it. Exactly. I'm definitely over. I would say over occasional.
Yeah.
But that doesn't mean it's a problem. It means that it could be a good thing, like we're saying.
Yes, I've got I'll go over the signs of a gambling addiction when it becomes a problem later. I got one fun bonus fact about gambling. Blackjack?
Yes.
That used to just be called 21.
Okay.
So this is a fun bonus fact.
Yes.
And because they offered bonus payouts in this, new game comes to America. And I think it was French, and they're like, all right, we need these Americans to play it. So they offered a bunch of bonus payouts.
Yes.
And one of the bonus payouts was if you get the ace of spades and a blackjack, either one of the two black ones,
you
would get a big bonus payout.
Okay.
So then everybody just started calling it blackjack. thinking that was the best thing. And then the bonus payouts went away, and then they still called it blackjack.
I see. Okay, because that name stuck. It does sound better than 21. You do get still slight bonus payouts if you just get dealt a straight 21. But
Yeah,
not probably the same thing.
Like 3-2.
Yeah, 3-2. Yeah. Okay, so gambling, obviously, most famously done in casinos now, but also, like Steve said, there's sports betting online, there's sports betting, horse betting, all this kind of stuff. I've got a few bets here, just been done through history, that are just kind of some weird ones that people have done. So this guy did this as part of a show. He actually sold like all of his possessions, even his clothes, to fund a bet, and he ended up I think he put it on red. He put on red, walked away, won 200, won an extra 135,300. So walked away.
But then you had to buy new clothes and stuff.
Yes, the guy's name was Ashley Reveal.
Oh,
okay, there was that guy. There was one guy named William Lee Bergstrom. They called him the Suitcase Man.
Okay.
And he bet $777,000 he won in a single series and craps.
Oh my God.
Yeah. And I didn't really understand the bet that he was doing. I'm not going to go. I didn't even understand the bet. I'd never done that. It was like he bet something where it would end up rolling a 7, and it did. I didn't even know. I play craps a decent amount. I didn't even know the bet they did. I looked it up.
I have no idea how to play craps.
But it was that was in the 80s. It's $2.97 million in today's money. That's how much he won in a single series of roller craps. And then later, a few years later, he lost $1 million, so more than he won the first time, and he ended up committing suicide soon after.
Oh,
so that's a sad one.
Whoops.
People said they were really confused because he actually still had a lot of money. So they were like, why did that affect?
Because he's a fucking winner.
Yeah. You're right. You're right, Steve. There was a guy, Don Johnson, not the actor, a different Don Johnson. He had a run. Yes. He had a run of $15 million in total blackjack winnings over kind of a series of time. And he kind of used some of the things, they had some discounts stuff going on casinos. I think you could only lose, you got 20% of your money back if you lost, all this kind of stuff. And I think they ended up kicking him out after that and being like, yeah, you can't really.
Usually they kick you out way sooner.
Yeah. Those are a couple ones, but then I have a really interesting, I know you've got some ping pong stuff, Steve. I've got an interesting ping pong bet.
I don't want to actually, all I have for ping pong is my personal stories, and oh boy, they're a doozy.
We'll give people a quick ping pong doozy story, and then I will fill you in on a different ping pong bet that was done not online but in person here.
Okay, so my best one that I don't have a gambling problem. Okay,
correct. Yeah.
Let's see, I have two. One, here's how I got addicted to it. I had I won a big bet, and I withdrew $800, and I had $50 left, and I'm like, oh, ping pong. And I was like, oh, this seems easy to bet on. Oh, yeah. We're getting a spam call. So I'm like, all right, I'm going to bet on just ping pong. Put $50 on the under, and the under hit. And I'm like, oh my God. And then I was like, all right, now I have $100, and I'm going to bet the $100. And it just rolled and rolled and rolled. And I was up to $800 just ping pong betting. And then I bet it all again and lost. Goodbye that money, but it was free money.
Oh my God.
So it didn't count. Then my best one was I had another big win, and I think I had $400. I had won $400, and I'm like, I'm gonna double it because that's how we be doing.
Yeah.
So I go to ping pong, and I think I had been drinking a little bit, so I just bet on the the first ping pong game I saw. And I'm like, I'm unstoppable, and it was I bet the under, forgetting that it went to 5 games instead of 3 games. And then they went all the way to game 5, but the scores were so mismatched. I still won that bet. Cool. $400 in the pocket. We're eating salmon tonight. That's what I said.
I love that. Okay. That's Steed's local story. I'm going to tell you the story about a guy named Amarillo Slim.
Yeah. Okay. No way.
You know Amarillo Slim?
No, that's not a name. There's no way that's a
Well,
name.
this is kind of I'm pretty sure that was a nickname that he developed.
Okay.
Actually, kind of people associate him with kind of Texas Hold'em, like basically starting Texas Hold'em.
Old
But this
Amarillo.
guy, yeah, he was just basically a professional gambler his whole life. Very interesting guy. I actually would like to hear more. I did a light, research on this guy. He one time bet Evil Knievel to a game of golf using only carpenter's hammers. This is the kind of stuff he would do.
Well, that's fair.
He
that
won
keeps it fair.
He won $300,000 off Willie Nelson in a game of dominoes. But yeah, basically they say that he was one of the most famous poker players ever, and basically brought Texas Hold'em to the masses. So
wow.
He won World Series of Poker 5 times.
Oh, jeez.
So anyway, but here was a crazy ping pong bet that he did. So Amarillo Slim, just great name. He bet tennis champ Bobby Riggs $10,000 in a ping pong game. Here's the catch, Steve. So this guy, not a professional table tennis, but actual tennis player. So here was the catch. Amarillo Slim got to choose the paddles.
Oh my God.
So he showed up with 2 identical frying pans, and he ends up 21-8.
Oh my God.
Yes. Months later, Slim was challenged again, this time by ping pong champion. This was like a professional ping pong player.
Mm-hmm.
So he did the same thing. He demanded the same paddle picking rule. This time he brought 2 glass Coke bottles as paddles.
Now we're talking.
Yeah. The ping pong champion could not return a single serve. Slim dominated him.
Oh my God.
Yes. Apparently he trained for weeks to use Coke bottles as paddles.
Oh
and just absolutely destroyed this guy.
Wow.
Yeah. Anyway, so that was kind of his move.
That ping pong guy could not have been able to front the 10 grand. There's no way ping pong's paying you just 10 grand walking around.
No. I don't know what the bet was on the second one. His exact quote was, "I'd rather not say how much I had on the match because it caused a severe audit when the word got around." That's what he was worried. He said it was far more than $10,000 he won from Bobby Riggs.
The ping pong guy?
Yes.
Oh my God.
Yes. And keep in mind, this is in like the 60s, like $10,000 in the 60s.
Wow, so that's like maybe this ping pong guy had a lot of money.
Yeah, maybe he had a lot of money. Maybe it's somebody backing him that was like, "Oh yeah, you're gonna beat this random guy. It doesn't matter what."
Yeah, you can do this. Yeah, Coke bottles is a good move.
Yeah, exactly. So that was this Amarillo Slim guy, just very interesting. He would just do these kind of bets that were like, you're going to lose to a ping pong player doing their kind of stuff. So let's do some more weird thing that nobody knows how good they are at it,
and
then try to win money off that way. It would be a good guy to have in the group. That'd be a good guy to like have.
You're like, "Slim, we all lost our wallets. We can't get home." He's like, "No, give me 5 minutes."
Yeah.
I just bet this pole vaulter that I can jump further than him.
Exactly.
Wearing trash cans as legs.
Yeah. All right. What do you got here, Steve?
Jay, I found this a bigger bet than you had found.
Okay.
Biggest payday gambling win that I could find was this guy Mattress Mac, who I'm sure you've heard of.
He's the guy that always does the big bets on the Super Bowl.
Yeah, so he somehow uses it for furniture or something, and he's made a $4.5 million bet on the Bengals.
Yeah,
they lost the Super Bowl, so he lost that. He made a $10 million bet, and that lost. It was on the Astros. They didn't even make the freaking World Series. But then he made a different $10 million bet on Texas, or no, that was the Astros again. Yeah, different $10 million bet, or a series of $10 million bets, and it was a 3-to-1 odds. He ended up winning $75 million in total on this.
Wow. So overall, he's done good because of these couple bets.
Yeah, and then when his the other bets, his I think people get furniture for free or some shit if the bet hits. So then people go buy furniture, and they're like, all right, if the bet hits, I got free furniture, and then if it doesn't hit, then Mattress Mac gets all this mattress money coming in, so he's okay that he lost a $10 million bet. That's how he does it.
I see. I see. Yes.
It's a good promo.
Yes.
So he's a good guy. The largest actual gambling win in history is some dickhead who won the lottery, $2.4 billion.
Yeah,
like a few years ago.
Really, the lottery's a little bit. I don't know.
I know. I just had to mention it. That's a lot of screw this guy, asshole. That could have been me. I had a ticket. I could be on a boat right now doing Chubstep from a helicopter.
That's a very good point.
That's where I would do it.
Yes. There's somebody that's also really big into casinos. He is so big that he has actually been kicked out of multiple of them.
Wow.
For counting cards and playing like $5,000 hands at card tables.
Oh.
That man is none other than Ben Affleck.
Get out of here.
Apparently a card counter.
Really?
Multiple articles. Just Google Ben Affleck Las Vegas. A disheveled looking Ben Affleck gets kicked out of the casino again. Apparently he just shows up, goes straight to the cards table, and they're like saying he's counting cards.
They're like, Ben, you gotta stop.
Like literally multiple places he's been kicked out of in Las Vegas.
He's not low key.
He's not low key. Yeah.
Because those card counter guys, if you count cards, they put like bulletins out and they're like, if this guy comes into your casino, like the face scan will get him. And then they have to like wear disguises to try and win like a few $1,000. Ben Affleck's like, fuck it. $5,000 on Ben Affleck. What are they gonna do?
Yes. This was the exact quote. Ben walked in and went straight to the cards games. His hair was a disaster and he looked like a mess. He sat down and played for roughly 20 minutes before security Curdy was there. They made the dealer stop what they were doing and asked him to leave. Ben seemed pretty mad.
Like what? I spent all night reading about how you can count cards.
Yeah. Yeah. So Ben Affleck, who would have known?
I had no idea. Wow, that's awesome. Okay. You want to know some random things you can legally bet on?
Yes.
Okay, so you can legally bet on if Ben Affleck will die or when he will die.
Okay.
Celebrity death betting is legal.
Oh yeah, I have heard this. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a fine thing to do, and I recommend it. You can bet on bog snorkeling. It's a United Kingdom. It's a United Kingdom event. I don't know what goes on, but you can bet on it. Bog snorkeling.
Okay.
You could have bet. We missed an opportunity here. We could have bet on the next Pope.
Oh, I actually saw that. I didn't know how to do that, but I saw this was super low odds of this Pope winning.
Yeah, let's see. The highest odds was at plus 350. And that guy lost. So huge upset. Huge upset.
Yeah, that was a huge upset, yeah.
Yeah, so you probably would have made bank if you picked the right Pope. Chicago Pope, hot dog Pope.
Yeah.
You can bet on when Kim Jong-un will lose power. So the highest odds right now are 2031 or later. So Vegas thinks that within 6 years, Kim Jong-un will be out of power.
But it says or later, so it's not necessarily like.
Yeah, but that would be lower.
Yeah.
If it was more likely to happen, the odds would go down. It would be lower odds. So people think that, he's next 6 years, he's going out. And okay, what else? You can bet on if aliens will show up.
Yep.
And you can bet on the weather. Which
what is the weather one?
The weather?
Yeah.
This is something that is in my betting Discord group. There's a weather portion of it.
Yeah.
Because I'm in a very serious betting Discord, and weather betting is a thing. So you can decide to bet on like if it's going to rain, temperature, over under temperature, because they'll say like, hey, it's going to be 82, and you're like, oh, no shot, it's going to be 82. It's going to go up to 84. So you can bet the over on 84. You can bet futures. So June 18th. You can bet if it's going to rain on June 18th, if it's going to be sunny on June 18th.
Yeah.
You know,
now, people that had the under in weather for Chicago would have been huge for May. I feel like a lot of people made some money betting the under, and it has been not warm in May.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. It's been the overs hitting in Portland.
Okay. There you go.
In Boise, where I was yesterday, it was 99 degrees.
That's insane. Okay.
Yeah. It was not great.
Yeah.
Cool 75 here in Portland.
Yep.
So you got to take the over in the valley.
Okay. Okay.
Global warming.
Any other ones?
Let's see. I mean, there's like a bunch of random shit.
Yeah.
The apocalypse is pretty chill, which, you can make a lot of money just betting on the under. Oh, what's this fun one? It was ferrets.
Okay.
You can bet on ferret bingo, it's called, which is essentially a game where you get a bunch of ferrets, and then a bunch of exits, and all the exits are numbered. Then you bet on the exit that the ferrets are going to run. So you just release the ferrets, and then they charge through, and they go through the exits, and you can win money.
Oh my god!
I want to set that up in my apartment.
Yes, please. You got to do some online. There's got to be some your own online betting that you could be doing on that seed. Maybe Chubstep needs to do ferret racing.
Yeah, if I had
yeah,
I could. I got enough room for a ferret cage in here, and then I could be like, "Oh, come on, get ready, everybody, get ready. Put your bets in, put your bets in. Bet this ferret, this fine ferret."
Yeah.
And I'd have one good ferret that I trained to go to the slot. They would know. People,
it's all right.
But if I just whisper in this little ferret here, I'd be like, go to number 3. And he would go right into 3.
Love it. Okay. I'm going to say I got 2 more things here. One is just celebrities in general that are the biggest gamblers.
Okay.
Michael Jordan, obviously people know about him. He does a lot of money in golf, it sounds like. Millions of dollars on, that'll, Charles Barkley has apparently lost over $25 million in gambling.
That's impressive.
Floyd Mayweather, known for his massive bets that he does all the time. Another one is Tobey Maguire. So if anybody's seen Molly's Game.
Or just Spider-Man.
Or Spider-Man. Yeah, it's known that there's apparently a report out there that he won as much as $36 million in like high stakes poker.
I could see him being good.
Yeah.
He's not going in there to lose money like Charles Barkley. He's going in there to It's not fun. Him and Ben Affleck probably talked about it.
Oh yeah. No, so some of these guys are just like, I can't, like, casinos aren't even enough money going on for me. I gotta go like high stakes. 50 Cent apparently did $1 million bet on the New York Giants to win the New England Patriots, to beat the New England Patriots in 2012.
In that's the year they won in the Super Bowl? Nice.
Yeah.
Wow, 50 Cent.
But apparently he was like hedging his bets a lot, so he didn't win that much at the end.
Oh,
yeah. Yeah. So anyway, those are kind of the major celebrities. Here's my kind of final thing. This is casino games with the best and worst odds. If you're going to the casino, here's what you need to know. Baccarat, apparently number 1.
Best odds.
Yeah, I've never played it. Blackjack, craps.
Wow.
Those are all the good ones. Bad ones, slots.
Oh, don't tell me that. I love the slots.
Slots bad, and the Wheel of Fortune. They said the Wheel of Fortune one is not good. That's one. If people have not seen this, it's like a 1, a 2, a 3, a 5. 1 is a bunch of ones. You basically roll around, and whatever you won, you put the bet on.
Oh, I love that one.
I know it is fun, but because it seems so easy. But apparently, that's a house edge of 11%, which is pretty good.
That's not that.
The worst is actually Keno, which I've never played, but I see it some.
I don't know what that. I feel like you have to be at least 60 years. Exactly. You got to be 60 years old to play.
To play Keno, yeah. But apparently that's like the worst. It's actually the worst one. There you go. Those are my things, Steve.
Wow. Okay, that's fun. All right. Okay, before we finish, we'll go over a little bit of gambling addiction problems because we're
good. This is how every gambling ad has to end anyway, so it's perfect.
Yeah, exactly. So, I'll give my final thoughts on if you should gamble after we go over this, I guess. Okay. So if you have gambling addiction, you might be doing some of these things. You might have repeated unsuccessful attempts to cut back on gambling.
Mm-hmm.
So don't attempt it. You'll be fine. Sometimes if you have a gambling addiction, you'll chase your losses.
Yeah,
So
that's a classic.
yeah, the advice I was giving out earlier, where just keep going, double it. The experts are saying don't do that.
Okay.
Interesting. If you find yourself risking or losing a job, school, job opportunity, or a close relationship because of your gambling, I don't think you should have had that job, relationship, or school in the first place, because they're getting in your way. So ignore that.
That's true. That is true.
If you are lying to hide gambling activity, so your wife comes home and she's like, "Where, I thought you were getting dinner. Why didn't you come home with dinner?" And you're like, I got mugged or something.
Yeah.
And she's like, "You gambled again. You gambled our dinner away."
Yeah.
Homeless. Yeah. Well, the homeless guy bet me 2 cans of soup extra that I couldn't front flip.
Those are the kind of bets I like. I like those way more than a casino bet. I like oh, I bet you can't do a handstand for 5 seconds, bet you $30 on it.
Oh, all right. That's how we get you.
Or like a pool game, right? Like things that I don't like. The games are one thing, but I like when it's just off random stuff. That's what I like. Steve, but here's the thing, you're hiding stuff. What happens if you're hiding your winnings? You're talking about hiding your losses. What if you're like, hey, I just walked away with an extra 10 grand, but I don't want to show the maybe I want to keep it to myself for a little walking around money.
That's why I don't think that these sites are unbiased.
I agree. It's kind of bullshit, because I think, hey, you're walking away with a bunch of money. That's a good thing. That's not an addiction.
Yeah, they're not saying like, yeah, sure, if you're winning a bunch of money, just fuck it. You're doing great. Like, they don't ever say that. If you start borrowing money, that's another sign of a gambling addiction, to keep gambling. So what you got to do there is borrow even more money from more people and then gamble more. Okay, so I think that's the main. Oh my God, there's so many. If you miss family events, that's not from gambling. You're not missing family events from gambling. You might, but it probably wouldn't be worth it to go to that event if you had to.
I mean, how much money are you making at a family event? If anything, you usually spend money because you got to buy a gift, or you got to go to somewhere, pay for gas.
But there are people there that could loan you more money to gamble with.
Exactly. So okay, that's valid.
Yeah. So, okay, well, that one might not be.
We're gonna disagree with every one of these. Keep going. I'm gonna find a few more that
how
there's wrong they are.
There's hundreds. So they counteract themselves here, and they say if you take a second job without a change in your finances, you might have a gambling problem. And I'm like, I thought that losing your job was one of the problems. So make up your mind. Too many jobs, not having enough jobs. What's the problem?
Yeah.
So then if you're at this job and you organize staff pools, you might have a gambling problem. If you're the guy that organizes
stimulating the economy, I'm sorry.
If
you're creating a micro economy.
Yeah. I mean, it's good for the job
and building a community of people. I don't understand that at all.
It doesn't make sense. I mean, if you're feeling anxious, depressed, bored, restless, mood swings, or sudden bursts of anger, they described every feeling in the book. So you can't, as long as you're unfeeling. Like, do you want to have some feeling? Well, then go gamble. That's basically what they're telling you.
Yeah. I don't know about this.
Yeah, and then if you have any what is it? If you alternate between being broke and flashing money, you're up, you're down, you're up, you're down. You might have a gambling problem because you're not gambling right now, and that's your problem.
Exactly.
Well, all right, so if you have any of those symptoms, here's what you need to do. I didn't actually look up how to treat gambling addiction because I don't think anyone has it. So
he just refuses to believe it.
Keep staying out there. This is, advice. I have my doctorate in gambling studies.
You're a certified expert, right, in gambling?
I'm a certified expert. I'm telling you, if you're listening, to keep gambling. Don't listen to anybody else. Keep gambling. Listen to my voice. Keep gambling. Do not stop. Keep gambling. All right. That's our PSA done.
Perfect. Well, we're helping out everybody here.
Yes.
Steed, here's the last thing gambling. I always people tell people, you got to spend money to make money. That's a saying, right?
It is.
It's never more true than in gambling.
Mark Cuban said that.
Mark Cuban told me that.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, in confidence.
Well.
Okay. There was some bets. That was, it was all over the place, but so is gambling. It's a wild world out there.
It is. Old Amarillo Slim.
Amarillo Slim, R.I.P. The GOAT.
He's the GOAT. I'm changing my name.
Yeah. I mean, Steed Palomino could be a gambler as well. Yeah. Okay. If people have ideas for either new episodes or about gambling, things about that, ways that we've helped them out of their lives, chubstep.podcast@gmail.com.
Yeah, we'll do your topic.
And if you do, yeah, exactly. And Steve, and also I thought of something. If you do have a gambling problem where you need help with money, this actually could help. 50% off your next Go order. Order for new customers. J-rad Z50, all caps, JRADZ 50, 50% off for new customers. Vita
Wow. What?
Save some money
cost
there.
savings? That's double the money. Double the money? I don't know. It doesn't matter. Double
You've
the
got
money.
50% more money to spend on gambling.
Yeah. Wow. That's a great deal. I'm going to go buy another case right now. I have to keep changing my address so I can keep using the welcome deal. But it's worth it.
It's worth it. Exactly. All right. People, yeah, there you go. I said it already. All right. News shows once a week. Check us out on YouTube. The show has ended. Begun.
Now you know you got to go.
Peace. This is Yasin.